Good morning or good afternoon, prep and novice parents. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a really important meeting that we're going to be going through. Sorry if my screen pauses a little bit throughout, but it's more important that you're listening to the things that I'm saying versus watching me. So if you want to just minimize the screen and listen to everything, you should be good to go. There will be a quiz, really short, just a few questions quiz after this to make sure that you guys hit on the most important parts. You must complete that quiz before your child can get their competition makeup. So make sure you're really paying attention to what's going on. While this is a sport and it's fun, we do try to treat your children like they are professional athletes. So we have a few rules and standards going into competitions that is for your athletes and for the parents as well. So make sure you guys are paying attention and really asking any questions that you have about any of the policies that we do have if you do have any questions. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. The first thing we're going to talk about is just our schedule. There's two different venues that we need to make ourselves familiar with. One is the Georgia International Convention Center. That is not in downtown Atlanta. That is by the Atlanta airport. So make sure that when we're going to competitions there, we're going by the airport and not in downtown Atlanta, or you will be very late. The other venue that we need to make ourselves familiar with is the Lake Point Arena in Cartersville. Both of those venues are about 30 minutes parking lot to parking lot from each gym to the competition. So make sure that you're giving yourself a little extra time to get there. You never know when there's going to be traffic or a car accident. So give yourself extra time to arrive so that you're not stressed out. As far as the competition schedule goes, prep is our first team competing. We are competing in 2 weeks on January 25th. Now, all of our competitions for prep and novice are going to be on Saturdays. Generally, they are in the morning time, but sometimes they're in the evening. So I would kind of try to leave your whole day open if possible, and I will let you know as soon as I get any kind of information. It is normal for them not to give us a final schedule until the week of the competition, so kind of leave those days open until you hear a final thing from me. January 25th is our first competition for prep at the Georgia International Convention Center. That is Cheersport Atlanta Grand. The elite teams will be there with you as well, so we'll have 8 teams performing that weekend. Our next competition is February 1st. Novice and prep are going to that event. We're super excited to have you guys together. That is going to be at Lake Point Arena. That's NCAA Classic, so make sure that you go to the right place for that. Our next competition, which is our final performance for novice, is going to be March 7th. That is at the Georgia International Convention Center for prep teams. That is your prep nationals. That's your biggest event of the year. That's where divisions will be as deep as you'll probably see all season. And then March 7th for the novice teams, it's called the Spring Classic. It's held by the same company, but they kind of separate the two events. Most likely one of you guys will be in the morning for novice or prep, and the other teams will be in the afternoon. So just kind of keep that in mind on that day. Then prep finishes up their last event on March 21st. That's also at the Georgia International Convention Center. Make sure you guys have all those dates listed on your calendar and you are ready to compete. Very quickly, I do have some tentative times. These are not final, but these are predictions. So for our prep's first competition on January 25th, Shooting Stars, your tentative arrival time is 8:22 a.m. and your performance will be 9:52 a.m. Again, that is tentative, so fingers crossed it stays the same, but it may change. For Zodiac, you will arrive at 10:30 a.m., compete at 12 p.m. Milky Way, you arrive at 11 a.m. and you compete at 12:36 p.m. So just keep those things in mind. We generally have you guys arrive an hour and a half before your competition time, and we go to warm-ups about 45 minutes till. So make sure that you're in the parking lot, or not just in the parking lot, but in the building at your meet time. You'll receive a text from me about where to meet, and then we'll get all the team ready together. We'll take pictures, we'll do prayer, and then we'll head to warm-ups all together as a team. For the next competition, I have received a block schedule, which is just a range of times for novice and prep teams. All of our teams, we will be competing sometime between 8 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. So that's a really early morning for us. It's kind of good because you get your performance out of the way, and then you have the rest of your Saturday. So just keep that in mind. We are going to be there early on February 1st. So mark your calendars for that. Now, competition days are the most important days of our season. This is everything that we prepare for. So please make sure that we are doing everything that we can to make this a really positive day for your stars. Something I like to relate this to is standardized testing in school. This is why you're going to school, taking these tests, and preparing so that you can do well on this end of the year test. Competitions are the same thing. So we ask you to treat them the same way. When your child is doing standardized testing, you make sure that they're having a really great dinner all week, getting lots of carbs and protein. We're also making sure that they get to bed early. They're getting a full at least 8 hours of sleep before that competition day. Also, whenever they're waking up in the morning, we're making sure that they're having a really good breakfast before they head to the competition so that they're fueling their body for success that day. It is completely up to us as the coaches and the parents, because the athletes are going to be really stressed and putting a lot of pressure on themselves to try to do everything we can to support them and lift them up throughout the competition day. So make sure that, I know they're hard sometimes to deal with, but try to just kind of bite your tongue a little, try to make it positive as you can, and just make it a great day for everybody. How you experience the day is going to be the same extent that your child does. So just do everything you can to make it a super positive day. So for competition days, what to expect. If this is your first year in All-Star Cheerleading, welcome to a whole new world. It genuinely is its own culture. So be ready for that. Cheer competitions are loud, they're crowded, they are expensive, and they are seriously one of a kind. So make sure you eat breakfast before, you try to bring snacks at the bottom of your bag if you can, and you're just prepared for everything that's going to be going on. You also should expect to be at every competition for around 4 hours from your arrival time until after awards. So go ahead and plan for that in your day. In the email that has this video link in it, you'll also receive a suggested packing list. That's just to ease some anxiety and give you some suggestions on what exactly to bring to competition. I really suggest that every parent, athlete, family gets a designated cheer bag that has nothing but your cheer stuff in it. It's a designated place for the uniform, the bow, the makeup, everything that you need so it doesn't get lost. Once that uniform comes off, it goes in the washing machine and it goes straight back in that bag so you don't have to worry about anything getting lost. I don't always have extras of every size or everything, but keep in mind that extra things do cost extra money. So we want to keep up with all of our stuff so it doesn't cost you guys anymore. Events always run on time, but sometimes they run early. So you're hardly ever going to see something running late. So when I said earlier that Shooting Stars competes at 9:52 a.m., that is exact. Their routines are only 2 minutes to a minute and a half long. So if you're in there even a minute late, you've already missed half of their performance. So, with that being said, make sure you are in the arena at least 20 minutes before your child performs. You've got that schedule, you're keeping up with it, you know how many teams are going until your child's so that you don't miss the performance. There's also a priority area in almost every venue. I will send you a text to let you know exactly how that works once we get to each venue, but generally there's a stage in the front and they load up the parents on one side of the stage. We all walk in and either sit or stand right in front of the stage, and afterwards they ask you to exit to the opposite side. We will always bring the kids to you on whichever side that is that they exit, so make sure you come to meet us with the coaches right after that. Before every competition, you will get a very detailed packet. It's usually 4, 5, 6 pages long that has everything that you need to know about each event. So make sure you're reading it from the top to the bottom. I know it sounds crazy. There's a lot of pages. There's a lot of things to read, but it has everything you need to know. We talk about the location. We give you the address. We talk about parking. How much is it? Do they take a card? Is it cash only? How much is it for parents to get in? How much is it for our grandparents to get in, or military members, kids? Any of that. It has all your information in there. Okay. Companies don't always send me a final schedule until the Wednesday before. That's like the latest. Sometimes I even get it on Thursday. So I may not send out a paper copy with you depending on when I get it. It may be an emailed copy. So make sure you're checking your email the week of the event to make sure that you're not missing out on any information. This is super important, guys. Are you on the team remind message? If you're not on the team remind, you are going to be extremely lost on competition days. I don't just send out practice reminders on that. On competition days, that is our main and only way of communicating with you. So you want to make sure your phone is charged and that you're on this message. Anybody that's responsible for bringing your child to competition needs to be on this message. If they're not on it, they're not going to know where to meet the team, where to pick up their child if it's a different spot, if awards have changed. So we need to make sure that we're on this message. On this side right over here, it's got the code to join all of the teams that are involved in this meeting. So you're just going to open up your phone like you're sending a normal text message to your best friend or your husband. The number that you're going to type in is 81010, and then you're going to go under in the message and you're going to type the @ sign and then whichever code shows up for your team. You just press send. It texts you back and says, do you want to join this remind? If you do, please respond with your first and last name. Then it'll ask you, are you a parent, are you a student, or are you other? Okay, so then you respond, I'm a parent, and it adds you to the message and you get everything that we've gotten so far this season. So please make sure that everybody is on that message that needs to be. Hey guys, Coach Kelsey. Sorry about that. All right. Competition makeup. Okay, it is not as big and scary as it seems. For the prep teams, your kit includes a white eye shimmer, an application brush, black mascara, and some Brazin lip stain. Okay, so you just are going to take the white and you're going to apply it into the corners through the top of your eye, just like this with the brush. You're going to do a little bit of black mascara and then the Brazin lip stain. That's shown in this picture right here. The only thing that's not happening in this picture is the winged eyeliner. That's for our elite teams only. For novice teams, yours includes that same white eye shimmer. You're going to do it the same way, just in the corners of the eyes and then straight through the top of the eyelid. And then you've got some pink lip gloss, okay? The reason that we wear makeup for both of these teams is because the judges are very far away from our stage. So when we've got some accentuating makeup right here in the corners of our eyes and something on our lips, it makes our facials seem bigger. They can see them from farther away, and it makes our eyes look bigger as well, so we look more expressive from the stage. They actually get a score worth 10 points based on their performance. So that's how expressive they are in all their facials. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help accentuate those since the judges are so far away. Now for novice, it is optional if you would like to wear mascara or not. I know especially with the babies, it's kind of hard to get it on sometimes. So we're going to make that your call, okay? What is also your call is if you want your child to wear like face makeup or blush. That's 100% up to you, okay? And that's for prep and novice. There will be a YouTube video in the email just if you have any anxieties about it, but it is super easy to put on. We can also help you do it if it's something that you have a little anxiety with. We do recommend whenever you are doing your child's makeup that they're not just in their full uniform, put on their practice shirt or another t-shirt over it or their warm-up jacket so that we don't get all the glitter and all the makeup and everything all over our uniform. Those uniforms are expensive and we want to keep them intact and looking good as long as we can. For competition hair, all athletes are going to wear their hair up in a bun on the top of their head. We use something called the hand rule. So athletes are going to take their hand, put it at the very edge of their hairline, and wherever their fingers stop, so before their thumb, that's where their bun should sit on top of their head. If it's way far back here, you're not going to be able to see their bow. So use your child's hand. Boom, right there, that's where the bun should happen, okay? You can use one of those like bun accentuators. I know some people have asked me about that. You can absolutely do that. As long as all the hair is up and all the flyaways go up with it, we're going to be good to go, okay? As you can see from this little picture that I have on the side, it has pretty much every kind of hairstyle in it, and everybody's making it work. You can have braids, lots of braids, as long as it goes up in a bun. It could be all braided up into a bun, or it can just be pulled straight back. So it doesn't have to be curled or straightened or anything like that. We want our girls to have natural hair and to just put it all up in that bun with that bow. So for the prep teams, you've already received your bow. It's the purple bow with the teal lining at the top. That's going to be your competition bow. For novice, you'll receive yours with your makeup after you finish this quiz. It's going to be a white bow, and it has AB stones and pink stones on it to match your new uniform, okay? So those are only to be worn on competition days. We don't want you to wear them to practice because they're expensive, okay? They're $25. So if you lose your bow or it gets bent or something happens to it, you're going to have to pay $25 to get a new one. If your athlete has really short hair, which would be shorter than mine, it does not touch their collarbone. They are allowed to wear their hair half up, half down. However, that half that goes up should also be in a bun. So make sure everybody can get their hair up in that bun. Another rule, this is not just a cheer star rule, this is actually a rule from the USASF. Your child cannot wear jewelry while they're in uniform. That includes stud earrings, necklaces, and belly button rings. If they are walking around a competition and a USASF official sees them in uniform with stud earrings, they can receive a 1-point deduction from their team. So just whenever you're getting ready for a competition, go ahead and take that jewelry out. There's no need to even wear it to competition days. The dress code. We're almost done, guys. Bear with me. Athletes can only wear their Cheer Stars uniform or any Cheer Stars apparel or warm up while at competitions. That's it for the dress code. We really prefer, if it's warm outside, that you're just wearing your uniform in and out with your cheer shoes. If you did not purchase a warm up from us, no worries. You can do a plain black warm up. That's no white stripes, no anything like that. It needs to just be plain black. Okay. Another option is any Douglasville Cheer Stars apparel. We have some really cute sweatshirts, jackets, t-shirts, anything like that can be worn over your uniform just to keep it nice and clean. But we ask that you're only wearing logo stuff or plain black when you're in your uniform. If you do purchase your own pants, we ask that they are plain black and that they are not super baggy. Obviously, if you want to do like the yoga style where they can get their shoes on and off without having to take things off, that is absolutely fine. Another rule when it comes to wearing any kind of pants with your uniform is that you do not wear your skirt over your pants. Okay, so if you've got some bigger pants, you can tuck your skirt all the way in it, but it's basically the rule is either skirt or pants, not both, skirt or pants. I listed a few options for dress code right here. I know you guys can read, so I'm not going to go over all those, but just in case you're confused, it gives you a couple of different options, okay? The most important one to remember is no skirts and pants at the same time unless they can be tucked in. Now, when you're wearing your uniform or your warm-ups, the only shoes you're allowed to wear is your cheer shoes. The only other option is our Cheer Star logo shoes. We've got a few different kinds. Our most popular ones are the slides. See if I can find some for you guys really quick. All right, these really cute slides that we do have a few different ones available if you're interested in purchasing them. We also have some slip-ons in band style. So if you know you're parking somewhere where it's going to be a little muddier, like Lake Point Arena, you don't want to get those cheer shoes dirty, you can also wear logo shoes. But no other shoes are permitted, not even plain black Nike slides. It's logo shoes or cheer shoes. That is it. Another thing that we suggest is while you're in your actual uniform, like no warm-ups on, no t-shirt or anything, the only thing we ask that you eat or drink is water. We don't want you to spill chili cheese fries on your uniform right before we go on stage, okay? Or afterwards, because that's going to be a pain for you to get out. So just make sure that if you're eating anything or drinking anything besides water, you've got your warm-up jacket on or one of your Cheer Star shirts over your uniform. For nails, this is a big, big deal. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Your nails must be short, and that means that your nail cannot hang over your fingertip. We ask that your nail color is either clear or a natural color polish, like French is okay, a light pink or a light tan. Those are really the only options we've got. So no colors, just natural and short, so we don't hurt anybody. Another suggestion for dress code, it's actually more mandatory than suggestion. Please wear either black or nude panties under your uniform, okay? They do have a few different layers down there, but they have professional photographers at each competition. A few years ago, we had a girl in hot pink panties, and every single tumbling pass and jumps, all those underwear were just blasted on all of our photography, and it was kind of distracting just watching the routine. So we want to make sure that the judges are paying attention to our skills and not other things that are going on. So make sure we're wearing white socks and we're wearing black or nude panties so that nothing happens. All right, we're almost done. Other competition policies. I know we've talked about this briefly, but make sure your child gets a good night's sleep and has healthy meals prior to their performance. Everything that they're putting in their body is all that we're going to get out. So for an athlete, we recommend high amounts of carbs and protein. So give them pasta, potatoes. We want lots of protein, so chicken, steak, beans, all of that stuff. We don't need to eat lots of or drink. I know Starbucks is a big thing, but we don't need to drink lots of sugary stuff or eat lots of sugary stuff really leading up that whole week going into a competition. Because cheerleading is not an individual sport, if your child goes to bed sick or wakes up sick, we will expect them to compete sick. Of course, we will be able to alter the routine in any way that we can to make it safe for them and other athletes, but it is more of a safety issue for the teams to compete without one of their team members because that's all they've been practicing, for them to be exposed with someone that has a cold or strep throat or anything like that. So we'll do everything we can. Call me as soon as you realize that your daughter's sick, but we will ask them to still step on the mat for that 2-minute performance. If you do miss a competition for any reason, it is a reason for immediate dismissal. It's not just your child that you're responsible for. When you're on a team, the whole entire team counts on you. So we do need you there at every single competition. Your athlete must be at all practices the week leading up to competition. So that is like the 7 days or 8 days before we compete. They've got to be there. No exceptions for that, okay? It's not fair to the other team members to have to practice without them and then feel anxious going into the weekend because your child wasn't there. So make sure you're looking at your schedule and make sure that lines up for the whole season. Watch all Cheerstar teams from priority seating or standing. We talked briefly about this, but they'll usually line up the parents to the front versus one side, and then they'll exit you the other side. Once the event gets going, you'll really get used to that, but make sure you're paying attention to it. If we don't know what the priority situation is like, I will send you a remind text about it once we get there that weekend. So make sure you're checking your phones. This is a big request, not just from the kids, but from the coaches as well. The athletes really feed off of you as parents when they're on this stage. Sometimes they can't see you because of the lights, but if they hear just crickets in there while they're going full out, they're going to get nervous. Like, what happened? Why aren't we doing a good job? So I really encourage you to put your phones away. Try to designate one tall dad. Hey, can you get a video for us and send it to everybody? And everybody else, put your phones down and get excited for your kids the whole time. Scream, give them encouragement, let them know that you're excited about what they're doing even when they mess up. They need to get that encouragement from us. After competing, your child is your responsibility, not the coaches. So make sure that you're meeting us on the side of the stage so you can get them and hang out with them until awards. We do ask that you are positive always, and especially to your child, and even on social media before or after an event, regardless of the outcome. Competition days are tense for you because you're stressed. You got a time limit going on you. The kids are super stressed. They put a lot of pressure on themselves, and the coaches are stressed as well. So just watch what you say. I know that tensions can be high, but your athletes are always looking to you about what to do in a situation. So even if we feel like they should have won and we didn't, we want to be positive and say, you know what, that's okay. We'll work harder to make sure that this doesn't happen next time. Few more competition policies and we're almost done. If another child makes a negative comment to your child and hurts their feelings, there's a couple ways that you can address that. One, you can talk to the coaches about it and we can address it with the kids, or we really ask that you try to attempt to directly talk to their parent about it. We do not want you to talk to anybody else's kid unless it is in the form of absolute compliments. Wow, you did great on stage today. I loved watching you. A really good rule of thumb is just to try to remember not to parent anybody else's kids that is not your own. Obviously, if somebody else's kid is making your kid uncomfortable, being mean, saying inappropriate things, absolutely have those conversations. But just don't directly talk to another child about it. Talk to a parent or another adult. If you do hear another parent talking about your child or any child, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe Susie fell today. What was she thinking? She messed it up for the whole team, or anything like that, that is something that you need to find me immediately and talk to me about. You can send me a message on Remind, or you can come find me in person and talk to me about it, because that is something I want to address immediately. We do not, as adults, need to talk about any kids in any kind of negative light, and especially not if they're on our team. One, it doesn't teach your child to do the right thing, and two, it's just not the right thing to do. Okay, one day your child is going to fall just walking across the stage, or drop a stunt because they forgot counting, or anything like that. So you don't want your child to feel victimized by the whole team and feel like they let everybody down when something like that happens. So you need to teach your child to do the same whenever someone else makes a mistake. Keep in mind that there are bad days, just like we said, and one day it will be your child's bad day. So a child's performance or their final placement is no reflection on you as a parent. We all make mistakes. We all have to learn those lessons, and we try to teach the girls to come together as a team and try to help each other feel supported and make sure those mistakes don't happen again, because that's the only thing we can do with it. We ask that you never approach a competition official or judge unless it's in the form of complimenting the competition. Wow, I love this event. Thank you guys so much. No complaints or anything like that should be made to them. Make all complaints directly to me, and I will file an official complaint with the company. They do not prefer to talk to parents for any reason. With that being said, please do not contact a competition company before or after an event. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. If I don't have the answer, I can definitely find the answer for you. Or like I said, I can file a complaint on behalf of our program. But they do not like to talk to parents. They only like to talk to gym owners and directors and coaches. This is a new policy for Cheerstars this season. You can actually post routine videos online, like on your Facebook or on YouTube, to share with your family, as long as it is a hit. So what a hit means in cheerleading is that there was essentially no mistakes. No stunts fell, no tumbling busted or fell to its knees, and nobody just like fell walking through a performance, okay? There is one rule that is a varsity rule, and that is that you cannot go live on Facebook or Instagram. This can actually get our team disqualified. So make sure if you are taking a video to be shown on Facebook, you're taking just a still shot through your photos, and then you're going to go and upload that later once you make sure it was a hit. After each team performs, we'll usually send you a text to let you know we hit 0, we're so proud, or anything like that. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. This is probably the most important thing that I'm going to say this entire video meeting, okay? Be on time, be on time, be on time, okay? It stresses out your athlete, and it does affect their performance, whether you believe it or not. They need that alone time with their team to be able to get focused on the battle ahead, and it's really going to stress you out, because I promise you I'm going to be calling you like 30 times. Where are you? Have you parked yet? Where can I meet you? Okay, it's really stressful, and we need everybody there, not just on time, but maybe a little bit early, okay? So put those times in your calendar as soon as you get them, and prepare to leave your house early so that you can be prepared for any unexpected things that happen on the road, and you can still be there on time. Awards, okay? All athletes must be at awards. This is not an option. We feel like that's really bad sportsmanship to not go to awards, so go ahead and make sure that you're going to be there for that. Parents, relatives, and siblings, you are not allowed on stage, so make sure you're just being a spectator and being super excited. When we do go to awards, we ask that athletes are still in their full uniform, not warm-ups, no pants, no shirts over anything, and your hair is still in your bow, your makeup is still on, okay? We clap and show support for all teams and all programs. It is a really big thing with our kids. If they're not clapping, they're going to be getting in trouble, okay? Another thing is we never, ever, ever, ever talk negative about another team or a program, especially while we are sitting in the stands. There's obviously going to be things that other programs do that we don't do or that we don't agree with, but that doesn't mean that we should talk negatively about them, okay? One thing that is big is, I know we've talked about this a little bit, but there are some times that we're going to feel like we should have won and we got second. There might also be times that we got third and we feel like we should have won, okay? But keep that last thing in mind. We don't talk negative about other teams. We get our score. We work harder to make sure it doesn't happen again. We also need to remember that the people judging us are humans, okay? They are subject to human error. It's just going to happen sometimes. So no matter how you feel, keep all of your negative comments to yourself, especially while in the arena. And of course, reach out to me with any questions that you have, okay? Never celebrate a first place finish until the MC announces Douglasville Cheerstars. This is a really big deal to us. Even if, say for some reason, we had a team and they have gone 3 competitions and they have got dead last every single time. And now we're at the last competition of the season and they're about to win. When they call out second place and it's not us, you know you won, and I know you're excited and the kids are too, but we are going to be quiet. We are not going to move. We're going to clap for the second place team, and once they call our name, then we're going to go crazy and get excited, okay? Sometimes second place is an amazing feat for some teams, and we do not want to take that away from them, okay? So we only celebrate when we hear our name. Last place is something that we hope never happens, but unfortunately sometimes it does, okay? So we teach your kids not to cry or pitch a fit no matter what happens, even if it's something that they didn't want or they feel like should have been differently. We teach them to hold it all in, be proud for the other teams, and to win and lose humbly and with grace, okay? If your child is crying, we know we've got some really young girls. If they just can't help it, we ask that you try to take them out of the arena as quickly as possible, maybe to a bathroom or outside, so they can breathe and get their emotions together before they come back in. So we really ask that you guys support us in this. Remember, at Douglasville Cheer Stars, we do set up our routines to challenge our teams. While obviously hitting is a goal of ours, sometimes you're not going to see absolute perfection at our first competition. That shouldn't say December, I'm sorry. But at our first competition, we do progressive things. So at the first competition and the last competition, you will not see the same routine. They're going to keep getting better throughout the season, so go ahead and expect that. After awards is when your child is free to go. If there's anything different, it's going to be listed in that competition packet, but just make sure you kind of have that mindset. After awards, we can go ahead and leave, okay? At all of our competitions, we do ask that you arrive stage ready. This means you've got your makeup already ready, your hair is up, your bow is in, you've got your uniform on. Even if your warm-ups are a t-shirt or whatever is over it, you are really ready to compete. If we needed you to compete in 5 minutes after you got there, you could be ready to go, okay? This also means you should have eaten breakfast before you came or on the way. Stop at Chick-fil-A, get them some really good chicken, protein, all of that stuff so they can eat it not when they get to the venue, but before they've already gotten there, okay? It's really unfortunate when we have kids that get into warm-ups and they're like, I'm so hungry, I haven't eaten anything all day, okay? That is not going to lead to a good performance. So we want to make sure we're doing our part and getting them a really good breakfast. Make sure you read your competition handout. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. Final reminders, you should be receiving group texts from me. That means you are on the remind message. You should have gotten one about this video meeting. So if you didn't receive it, you're more than likely not on the group text. It's very important to be added. If you are having trouble joining the remind, please reach out to me so I can get you on there. The first competition for prep is in 2 weeks, January 25th at the Georgia International Convention Center by the airport, not downtown Atlanta. Both novice and prep teams compete the very next weekend at the Lake Point Arena for NCAA Atlanta Classic. That's on February 1st. Another reminder that you cannot make anything with the D and the star logo. It is a registered trademark. It is against U.S. federal law to make anything with anyone else's logo without their permission. So if you really need something made that we don't have in our pro shop, please reach out to me. Do not try to make it on your own. We are now in full swing of competition season, so this means we need all athletes at every single practice to help keep our team successful. So keep them healthy, keep everything to a minimum that you can, and really try to be there for your team. If you hear any gossip or anything that you just really don't feel comfortable with or you want to know the answer to, please reach out to me directly. I would love to have an in-person or phone conversation about anything that you're concerned about. I would so much rather you ask me, even if you think it's silly, than for you to assume something is true when it is not. After each competition on the Monday or Tuesday after, you'll be receiving a big email from me that has score sheets, scores, and a breakdown from me about exactly what that means, how we plan to improve, what our plans are as coaches as far as any changes or improvements. So you're going to get a big email from that talking about the scores and what they mean and how we scored in this area and how we did in this. So if you have any questions about those, guys, please reach out to me. I really want you to understand the scoring. We highly recommend that as parents and as athletes, you're watching the other teams in your division, the other teams you're going against. This not only helps you understand the sport, but it helps you understand the placements as well. Remember, as cheerleaders, we're not just judged on the difficulty of the skills that we do. We are judged at the level of perfection at which we can do each skill. So we try to get everything as perfect as we can. Last reminder is that you must complete the quiz that's attached to the email that this video was sent in for you to get your child's makeup. For novice, I will be holding your makeup, your uniform, and your bow if you don't finish that quiz. So make sure you're getting it all in this week so next weekend at practices, everybody can receive everything that they need. Last thing, guys, and then you guys are good to go. What division is my team? Okay, that's when you're looking on the schedule and you're like, okay, who am I even against? These are the things that you're looking for. One thing for prep teams that's super important to know is that D2 is the division we're in. It works the same way pretty much as college teams. D1 teams are teams that have 150 kids or more in their competitive cheerleading program. D2 teams are teams that have less than that. Okay, we have for our elite and prep teams, we have 100, and we add our novice teams in, we have 124. Okay, so we are considered D2. We will almost always only compete against other D2 gyms. For shooting stars, you are small mini level 1.1 D2. For Milky Way, you are small youth level 2.2 D2. For Zodiac, you are small junior level 1.1 D2. For Tiny Novas, you are just under Tiny Novice. Tiny Novice. Remember, you don't compete against other teams, you just compete for a score. Solar, you are Youth Novice Level 1. Same for you. You do not compete against other teams, you just compete for a score. If you have any questions about anything you see in this email or in this video, please reach out to me. Send me a message on your mind. Send me an email. Call me at the gym. I am always here to answer any questions that you have. I so look forward to seeing all of our stars on stage in their brand new uniforms, and I hope that we have a great season together. Thanks, guys.